Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning and welcome to the Superstore. This is Debbie Sanadica and I'm live with you on the air. We're going to do a little buying, a little selling, and a little trading this morning. Here's how the show works, folks. All you got to do is call 818-572-8037 and you can be live on the air with me. We've got a lot to talk about today. I'm going to talk a little bit about comedian collectibles today. A little bit about some coloring books. I've got some prices on some great items to share with you. Also, we have a mailbag, so if you want to mail your items in, you're a little shy of the radio, you can mail your items to the Superstore, Post Office Box 11, Southview, PA 15361. But all you got to do to get in on the live action is give us a call. Again, that number is 818-572-8037, 818-572-8037. Generally speaking, every show we will be talking to Mr. Fix-It. He's my right-hand man, and he usually has some great tips for people. And we'll be talking to him in a few minutes here. We're going to see what he has going on. We also have one of our advertisers from Your Choice Contracting with us today. I understand he wants to talk a little bit about frozen water pipes and what to do. So, folks, it's 818-572-8037 for the live call-in show. And it looks like we've got a caller right now. Good morning. Welcome to the Superstore. Can I help you? Hello, caller. Are you on the air? I guess we lost that caller. I'm going to sit here and watch the switchboard. I'm new to this game. I used to be on AM radio. It was a little bit different setup. I'm watching everything myself, and I feel a little like an octopus this morning. Hey, we'll be right back after this message from Gordon Piano Service.
I've been a piano teacher for 26 years, and I wouldn't trust my piano to anyone but Ron Gordon of Gordon Piano Service. I recommend his tuning by ear to all of my students who own pianos. Gordon Piano Service is prompt, reliable, and Ron is an expert in his field. He even tunes the pianos at the Governor's Mansion in West Virginia. Try Gordon Piano Service, 724-229-4779. Or check out the website, www.gordonthepianoservice.com. Call today, 724-229-4779. Just listen how good my piano sounds.
And we're back. Again, this is Debbie Sanadica with the Superstore, and we're live on the air here at Blog Talk Radio. We're going to buy, sell, and trade. And the way the show works, folks, you just call 818-572-8037, and you're buying, selling, and trading live all over the country. Folks, we're going to talk to Mr. Fix-It today, and I don't know what he's got in store for us, but he's always got a good tip. Mr. Fix-It, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you doing, Mr. Fix-It?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. A little cold, but I'm doing great, so.
Yeah, it is awful cold there in Pittsburgh. Hey, listen, what do you have for our listeners today?
Well, you know, I was fixing hinges on my cupboard, and I thought that maybe a lot of other people would like to know that the little trick that I've learned over the years about repairing stripped-out screw holes. And basically what it is you get some toothpicks. Usually everybody has some toothpicks in their cupboard, a little bit of wood glue, and take the stripped-out screw out of the hole that needs repaired. Put some glue on the toothpicks, maybe 3 or 4 toothpicks, and put them in the stripped-out hole, tap them in with a light hammer or something that you can use to get them in there tight. Let the glue dry, trim it off with a razor knife, and then put your screw back in there, and it'll bind nicely for you. repairs it, and it's an easy fix and doesn't take too much money.
That sounds like an excellent tip. I'm wondering, can you do that on a larger scale? What if you had like a garage door that the wood had deteriorated? Can you do this on a larger scale?
Well, absolutely. A lot of times there's like lag bolts, 1/4-inch lag bolts, 5/16 lag bolts that end up getting stripped out on the garage door on your frame. And basically what you'd want to do is take a piece of pine, an old scrap piece of pine, and cut yourself off a nice sliver, roughly the size of the screw hole that's stripped out. And same thing, put some glue on it, put it, tap it into the stripped out hole, let it dry overnight. Next morning, take a wood chisel, trim off the excess that's sticking out, restart your lag bolt in there and tighten down. It holds good. And I found out that no matter what size screw hole you've got, 9 times out of 10 you can use this trick to fix it, you know.
That's a wonderful tip, Mr. Fix-It. Look, I know that you're busy today. I understand you got some jobs that you've got to take care of. So we thank you so much for calling in, and will you join us again next week?
Absolutely. I'll have another good tip for you. And good luck with your show there. It sounding great. So
Thanks a lot, Mr. Fix-It, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye. And that was Mr. Fix-It. He likes to join us with some good tips, and I'll tell you, I do have one good tip for you folks. You know when a table gets all sort of beat up looking and it's not looking very nice anymore? Well, I learned this from an upholsterer, and if the surface of a favorite table or desk is showing signs of wear, don't give up on it. He says to extend its life with a covering of canvas, linen, or leather. So start by measuring the tabletop's width, length, and thickness. Double the thickness and add this number to all sides. You cut a piece of durable fabric or leather to this size along each edge, fold a hem equal to the thickness of the table, and iron it flat. Using a hammer covered with cloth, secure the fabric to one side of the tabletop with upholstery tacks, or say an inch, inch and a half intervals. Begin at one corner and complete the entire side. Then stretch the fabric across the surface of the table and secure it with more upholstery tacks at the remaining corners, folding your fabric under to make a vertical seam at the corner. Finish by tacking the remaining sides the same way as the first. Of course, you don't have to wait until a table was scratched or worn to employ this technique. It can be used to give any table a fresh look. We'll talk a little bit here. Look, I like to give people nice, wholesome things to think about. And according to Gertrude Stein, life is full of dangers and risks and challenges. We can choose to meet them fearfully or in a spirit of welcome. To choose fear is to say, I won't take the risk because I might lose. That prevents ourselves from ever winning. If we welcome the danger, the risk, or the challenge, we acknowledge that life is made up of losses as well as victories, of gains as well as pain. And according to Gertrude Stein, she says everything is so dangerous that nothing is really ever very frightening. The number to call, folks, is 1-818-572-8037. You can join us live here on the air. We buy, sell, and trade. Next Saturday, I believe we have a pinball machine expert coming on the show. The following Saturday, we'll be hearing from a piano technician that has all kinds of great tips about how to keep your piano sounding the best it can. And then in February, folks, I believe we're going to go every day. So you'll have to watch the listings, watch for your emails to let you know. We're putting out a newsletter, and we'll let you know exactly what time, but I believe we'll be on from 9 to 11 every day to buy, sell, and trade live here at the Superstore. And we'll be right back.
Did you ever have contracting work done just to end up fighting with the contractor about what you were looking for? Well, that won't happen with Your Choice Contracting. Your Choice Contracting listens to you, so when the job is finished, it is exactly how you imagined it. Choose Your Choice Contracting today and get the job done your way. Call 412-377-0986. Your Choice Contracting, when you want it done your way. Call for free estimate today. Your Choice Contracting, 412-377-0986. Did you ever have contracting work done just to end up fighting with the contractor about what you were looking for? Well, that won't happen with Your Choice Contracting. Your Choice Contracting listens to you, so when the job is finished, it is exactly how you imagined it. Choose Your Choice Contracting today and get the job done your way. Call 412-377-0986. Your Choice Contracting, when you want it done your way. Call for free estimate today. Your Choice Contracting, 412-377-0986.
And folks, we're back. Look, I want to say hello to my granddaughters, and they're listening to me this morning from Butler, Pennsylvania. I'd like to say hello to Carissa. Say a little hello to Kira and Carly Joe. I know they're listening to Grandma's first show, and I really appreciate that. So in honor of them, I'm going to talk about coloring books because they love to color. The key to find these gems uncolored, that's the way you have to find a coloring book if you want it to have any value, although some that are really, really hard to find, they will accept a little bit of coloring in them. Some collectors will accept a few pages, but the coloring had better be neat. And I know my granddaughters, they're learning to color very, very neat. If it's scribbles, forget it. So girls, remember, you color in them coloring books, make sure it's nice and neat. Once again, folks, the number to call is 818-572-8037. You can get on the show live with me. We buy, sell, and trade here, folks. Anything from goats to boats, you name it. And we have some mail to read here in a few minutes. We usually do that halfway through the show. Back to the coloring books. Most of the value rests on the outside cover. The closer the image is to the actual character or personality featured, the higher the value. So if you've got a perfect coloring book that's got Howdy Doody on the front of it, it was put out by Whitman in 1950, approximately 80 pages. If it's unused, $35. That's what that coloring book's worth. Droopy. I remember Droopy. That's a Whitman coloring book, 1957. He's on almost every single page, and if it's half colored, it's about 7 by 7 inches, $20 on that. Family Affair coloring books, 1968. I used to have a Mrs. Beasley from that show, and I loved her. Now, it said you can still accept some messy coloring. That one goes for about $10. How about the Brady Bunch? We all remember them. 1973, Whitman. It's got a family portrait on the cover. Camping trip story is what the basic premise of the coloring book is. 9 neatly colored pages. That's all they'll accept out of the 25-page book. $25. Anybody remember Bullwinkle? 1971, a Whitman. Bullwinkle is in a sports car on the cover. Includes Moon Men, Boris and Natasha, Peabody and Sherman, and others. Some coloring allowed. That value is $15. How about Mr. Magoo, the 1001 Arabian Nights? That's also a Whitman, 1959. Based on Magoo's feature film. Holes poked through the inside pages. They don't really like that, but if they're torn, some pages could be colored or even cut out. If it has a nice cover, Mr. Magoo is worth $45, folks. We'll be right back. We're going to listen to a little mail. We're going to talk a little bit more about comedian collectibles, and I've got a couple more coloring books to tell you about. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't forget 818-572-8037 for our live traditional tradie tradio talk show where we buy, sell, and trade live here on the air at Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Stanovica, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.